Looks like. Hey everyone, good to see you all. My name is Justin Ferris, VP of Product at GitLab. And yes, I'm wearing my release kickoff hat, so excited to insulate my head a little bit longer this morning. And today's like a leap year at GitLab. It's very rare where we launch a minor version of GitLab. So today's 17.7 is about to be released if it hasn't already. And then we're kicking off 17.8. So super excited that coincidence happened today. But I'm joined today by my absolute favorite product leaders across the product team. And I'll go in order introducing them of them presenting. Derek will start by sharing some updates on DevMonitor. Dove is joining us. He'll give us a rundown on some exciting improvements coming to CI. Then Mark's going to walk through updates to platform. Sarah will cover sec, and then Taylor will bring us home with data science. So as you've probably heard if you've watched these calls before, we're focused on delivering value iteratively, and we aligned through our fiscal year 25 product investment themes. As a reminder, those are enable AI and ML efficiencies across DevSecOps, drive use case adoption to help customers fully realize the value of GitLab, differentiate on our DevSecOps platform, and then finally strengthen our SaaS deployments and capabilities. So before I hand it over to Derek to get going, I do have a short public service announcement. On this live stream, we're going to discuss product roadmap items, which includes features and functionality. It's important to note that the information presented on this call is for informational purposes only. Don't rely on this information for purchasing or planning decisions. We plan ambitiously here at GitLab, and all the details discussed on the live stream are subject to change. The timing of any products, features, or functionality remain at the sole discretion of GitLab. So with that out of the way, Derek, take us away.
All right, thanks, Justin. All right, so the dev and monitor sections are focused mainly on the enable AI ML efficiencies across DevSecOps and differentiate on DevSecOps platform investment themes in 17.8. Of course, this isn't everything that our teams are working on. There's quite a bit more going on in all of our teams, but here are the highlights of what we plan to release in 17.8. So looking first at the enable AI ML efficiencies across DevSecOps themes, the editor extensions team is adding the /fix chat command into the native code actions commands in VS Code. This feature streamlines the process of applying code fixes by allowing users to access the /fix command directly in the native code actions menu. So this allows developers to address code issues seamlessly without leaving their editor, enhancing productivity and reducing the workflow disruptions. All right, so the team is also working on sending terminal output into Duo in VS Code. Getting this terminal output into Duo provides developers with the ability to reference and analyze terminal data directly within the chat interface. So this supports more comprehensive troubleshooting and debugging processes, which allow for more informed and context-rich interactions with Duo. The code creation team is always working to improve the speed and the quality of code suggestions. So in this release, we're looking at making changes to the underlying model to improve the latency of our code completion suggestions. We'll be adding a new code completion model, optimizing the performance of that model, and using tactics like prompt caching. So these changes have shown a 20 to 40% latency improvement in our internal evaluations. And by improving this latency, we'll also be able to get an additional benefit of having more headroom to find and use relevant context from the code base to improve the quality of code suggestions. All right, so continuing on the theme of adding quality to code suggestions, the team is working on a proof of concept for identifying related files and dependencies from ECMAScript imports to help improve the quality of the code suggestions. So this will help guide the suggestions towards more relevant suggestions based on related files. The Optimize group is associating Duo code suggestions with events to commits and MRs in the AI impact dashboard. So this enables customer level cohort AI impact analysis. It's a new metric, and it allows for comparison of SDLC performance between developers using Duo code suggestions and those who don't, which helps organizations track their ROI from using Duo. All right, and then moving on to the differentiate on DevSecOps platform theme, the optimized team is also adding visibility into MR review time in the value stream analytics dashboard. Measuring MR review time accurately is super critical for identifying inefficiencies in the review process. So this improvement helps managers identify bottlenecks, outliers, assess the impact of process improvements, and improve team collaboration by highlighting delays in the review process. And finally, last but definitely far from least, the knowledge team is working on getting the GitLab query language, GLQL, to a beta release. A GLQL is a single query language for all of GitLab, which allows for filtering and embedding content in many places in the product. We've invested in this because we've recognized that users have challenges surfacing summaries of the work they're completing. So this capability allows users to surface the information they find valuable more efficiently in the locations they prefer. And with that, I will hand it off to Dove to cover the CI and CD sections.
Thank you, Derek. Hi, everyone. My name is Dov Hershkovitz. I'm going to share. Can you see my screen? Cool. I'm a senior product manager in CI section, and I'll be talking about the work that is coming out of the CI/CD section, which support developers, platform engineers to effectively complete their automation, configuration, and operation tasks in GitLab after submitting the code. As a reminder, the three stages within these sections are verify, package, and deploy. And we have some great work on making your life better in this 17.8 release. So in this release, many of the groups are continuing the investment in our SaaS deployment theme by focusing on issues that improve the security, availability, and reliability of our product. Second, some groups are investing in other themes, but our main themes of this release is to drive use case adoption to fully realize volume, where we have several teams making some great contribution. To start with, the pipeline execution group has made some progress on building native integration with GitLab SCM to support better and more extensible experience with GitLab CI without the need to mirror code to GitLab. Secondly, the package group is working on our Maven virtual registry to allow GitLab users to interact with Java packages from a single upstream repo. The focus for this milestone is hardening the performance and the technical robustness. Second, we have some groups working on differentiate on the DevSecOps platform. The environment group is deepening the provisioning of cluster for GitLab environments. This use case is for the platform engineers to looking to provide an elegant and streamlined approach to infrastructure management. And lastly, the package group is focused on empowering more secure workflow with protected containers repositories, including tags and immutable tags. And of course, this is not a full complete list of everything we are shipping in this milestone for the CI/CD section. If you want, you can take a moment and review the Kickoff videos or the direction pages if you're interested in learning more. This concludes my section, and I will pass it over to Mark Wood to present the platform section.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Let me make sure my screen is shared here. Excellent. So this release, the platform team is primarily working on items that are behind the scenes. So what we're going to try to describe here are a few of the customer-facing features that we have, primarily working toward driving use case adoption to fully realize value. The primary effort here, there's actually a few of them. One of them is the Geo team is starting to work on observability improvements around Geo. This is really crucial as it helps system administrators better understand the health of Geo secondaries, as well as eliminate the need to manually go into like the Rails console and try to retrieve errors and debug that way. So this will help surface that to our customers, which is pretty exciting. I also want to touch on the idea that the durability team is working hard to refine the backup and restore experience that they aim to deliver. Primarily, they continue to work to decouple the backup code base such that it can be a standalone tool, and this will help improve the load times for that tool quite dramatically. In addition, the personal productivity team has recently rolled out the new to-do list implementation in 17.7. In this release, they're very keen to review feedback and iterate on this experience. A huge thank you to everybody who's left feedback thus far, and there is a feedback issue open, as you can see on my screen. We love the feedback. It really helps us improve. So if there's additional things that people are noticing, please don't hesitate to reach out to the team. Finally, the import and integrate team is working to roll out user remappings via CSV file. So this would allow customers who've imported their projects into GitLab to ensure like the username differences can be accounted for in an easy use manner. So this is super exciting for those customers who are coming over with a large number of existing users and want to map those or remap those onto their GitLab usernames. Finally, around the strengthening our SaaS deployments and capabilities, the Geo team is investigating more work around the org mover, and that's right here. And this is here we go. Around the org mover and around scoping, checksumming of orgs. This is really important because as we move organizations around, as we get into that functionality, we want to make sure that we understand the current status of that organization and the status once it's moved and ensure that there's no issues during migration. So checksumming at an org level is crucial to the success of this initiative, and this is a huge step in that direction. With that, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Sarah to talk about things in the SEC section.
Thanks, Mark. Hi, everybody. I'm Sarah Waldner, Director of Product for the application security testing and software supply chain security stages. I'll be covering Kickoff highlights for the entire SEC section. All right, getting my screen shared. Okay, so our highlights across the section are primarily in support of the drive use case adoption to realize full value and differentiate on the DevSecOps platform themes. So kicking off here, starting with the security risk management stage, coming to us from security platform management. They'll be working on adding managed security testing as a customizable permission to our custom permissions framework. Group owners and project maintainers have the ability to adjust various security settings, but this often leads to a user.
Sarah?
Yep.
We're seeing a black screen.
Okay. You guys took a long time to tell me that.
We were verifying if it was just ourselves.
Your words were incredibly compelling. You're painting a very good
Okay.
visual picture without the aid of a screen. There we go.
Is that better? We got it now?
Yep, we got it.
Cool. Thanks, Tim Muir. I appreciate that. Awesome. Back on topic. So with the release of this permission, you'll be able to create a custom role to allow a developer or any base role to be able to manage our different security scanners. Okay. Also from the security platform management team, we'll be adding the ability to manually change or override a detected vulnerability severity. So this is a highly requested feature. In many cases, customers want to change the default severity level of vulnerabilities. And this is due to the different risk thresholds that a business might have, which varies wildly depending on the distribution or how they have their different systems deployed or the industry in which they work in. The severity set by one of the secure scanners at default may be lower than the organization thinks because of their particular environment or setup. And as an example, in that case, they would want to set that higher such that it gets proper attention during triage and remediation. So I'm really excited about this one. We have a lot of customers waiting for it. Next, from composition analysis, we'll be adding support for Swift for our licensed scanner. The Swift iOS framework is one of the most prominent frameworks used in development of iOS apps in Mac software. We'll be adding support for license scanning for this so that users have access to this information in the dependency list, further increasing coverage for license scanning based on customer demand. The composition analysis group will also be starting work to support SPDX license expressions within license compliance. So SPDX license expressions provide a clear, standardized, and machine-readable way to document software licenses associated with their code, ensuring compliance with open source licensing obligations. This helps users manage legal risks, meet licensing compliance, streamline the sharing and reuse of software components across their projects and organizations. Right now, these are not supported, and so we'll be adding this over the next couple of milestones. From the pipeline security group, they'll be making improvements to the larger project allow list that we're building for the CI job token. So specifically, they'll be working to add a mechanism to migrate logs to the job token allow list automatically. This will be part of making this a really smooth rollout for our customers. So we know that pretty much all GitLab customers, ourselves included, would like to keep breaking changes to a minimum or avoid them altogether. So in the first part of this rollout, we'll be making the allowed list available, giving project owners the option to populate it themselves. However, if we do not see them take actions by a given deadline, we'll be notifying the administrators for these organizations to be able to turn on the authentication log to allow list migration automatically so that they can avoid those breaking changes. Also from pipeline security, they'll be making progress against the closed experiment phase for the GitLab Secrets Manager for CI. So the GitLab Secrets Manager will be a built-in secrets management solution specifically for GitLab CI pipelines, which will have the same look and feel as the other elements of GitLab. We're focused on the CI use case due to heavy uses of secrets in this part of the software development workflow and limited third-party integrations available in GitLab today. Typical secrets in the CI workflow include production access credentials, API keys, and authentication tokens. The pipeline security team will be working on the backend integration with OpenBow as part of this milestone. Next up, from the software supply chain security stage from the compliance group, they'll be making progress against the compliance frameworks MVC, which will be our GA launch happening later this year around 18.0. So businesses have regulatory standards that they must adhere to, as well as internal policies. And these policies are designed to minimize risk, maximize product quality, and protect end users. Historically, ensuring that these policies are reflected and following those daily changes was really challenging, especially if businesses have to adhere to industry-wide standards, whether that's federal regulation or contracts that they have set up with their customers. So the compliance team is working to build this out within GitLab, adding the ability for customers to be able to implement, monitor, and then enforce different controls for standards such as ISO 27001 or HIPAA or things of the like. So the compliance team will be making progress against that GA milestone. Okay. For the authorization group, they'll be putting the final touches on the experiment phase for what we're calling token permissions, specifically for the job token. So in 17.8, we're targeting the experimental release of this so the project maintainers can reduce access and customize how access is maintained for their CICD workflows. Final work here includes viewing permissions in the allow list, setting permissions in the UI, and toggling between different permission modes. Okay. Also from authorization, they'll be working to add more elements to the custom admin role. We're working on the beta phase for this as well. I'm going to speed up a little bit as I think I'm going a little long. Coming from the security risk management stage for the security insights group, they'll be working on adding 3 metrics that are important to making risk-based prioritization decisions for triaging dependency and container scanning vulnerabilities. They are exploit prediction scoring system, also known as EPSS, known exploited vulnerabilities as KEV, and common vulnerability scoring system, or CVSS. These metrics will significantly improve efficiency within triage. For the authentication group, they'll be working on adding a UI for service accounts. Today, we offer APIs to create, delete, and list service accounts, and for adding personal access tokens for a service account. We'll be adding a UI to make this simpler. And from static analysis, we'll be adding advanced SAS support for PHP. This is continued on expanding language coverage for advanced SAS. PHP is next. We're working through all of our top programming languages as defined by customer demand. Right, I'm going to hand it off to Taylor.
Awesome. Thanks, Sarah. Hi, everyone. My name is Taylor McCaslin. I'm a principal product manager representing the data science section. Everything we work on supports the theme of enabling AI ML efficiencies across the DevSecOps lifecycle. Let's start with talking about the AI-powered stage, which helps GitLab build generative AI into GitLab Duo, helping customers increase productivity and efficiency. The global search team joins the AI-powered stage. Global search is the foundation for intelligent information retrieval across GitLab, unifying diverse data sources and providing rich search for users. This release, they're working on expanding AI context retrieval to enable embedding search, which will allow global search and Duo to provide more relevant results. Additionally, the team is working on improving Zookt code search for large customers with large namespaces in the multiple terabytes in scale to ensure that GitLab.com can continue scaling with customers. Additionally, the team is improving the way that search results get provided when there are multiple matches in a single file. So today it shows that file multiple times. In the future, it'll show it as a single interface showing those multiple matches. Improving how you interact with code searches. Next, let's move to custom models, specifically the self-hosted models feature, which is working to enable Duo to work for customers with tightly controlled or even air-gapped networks. The team is working on a number of bug and maintenance tasks that stem from feedback from early users of self-hosted models. So thank you everyone who's trying that out and providing feedback and bugs. Next, they are improving how admins configure and set up the self-hosted AI gateway within the UI. This simplifies the task of connecting the self-hosted AI gateway to a self-hosted GitLab instance. So you'll be able to configure that directly within the UI. Next, the team is also improving how admins configure and set up self-hosted models within AWS Bedrock. You'll be able to very easily in the UI connect to your Bedrock instance, select the models that you want to use, and then be able to use those Bedrock models with your self-hosted models. This will improve how you set this up for customers who have Bedrock tenancies in their AWS instance. Next, let's talk about Duo Chat, or multi-turn conversational AI interface. The team is working on injected files in Duo. So I'll show a little demo of what this looks like here. Essentially, you can choose /include and choose select files, merge requests, and other types of content. You can search for various files and issues and merge requests here and add them, and it will specifically use that context whenever you're interacting with Duo Chat. This gives users more flexibility into what Duo is considering when it's making responses. Next, a very popular request. We are improving how you interact with chat, making it resizable. You can move it around the screen and make it larger or smaller to get it out of the way or to see more detailed responses. This is one of the most popular pieces of feedback we've heard about Duo Chat, so excited to see this come into the platform. Next, we're also improving how we evaluate conversational follow-up chats. This is going to improve how Duo handles context switches. So when you're bouncing between different topics, Duo can sometimes get confused. We're improving how we evaluate that to make sure that the Duo can manage that context switching. Next, let's look at Duo Workflow, GitLab's autonomous AI agent. The workflow team is working on improving how workflow handles long-running tasks. Rather than timing out, we're going to allow workflow to hibernate. That will enable it to run long-running tasks like triggering CI pipelines and waiting for them to finish before it continues. Related to this, we're also fixing a bug where workflow can get stuck and is not able to finish its task. This will improve stability of the feature. Now let's move to AI Framework, which works on the backbone of our AI abstraction layer. The team is investing in model flexibility and backwards compatibility, improving how different versions of the AI Gateway work with different versions of GitLab. This will improve backwards compatibility between the two versions of those elements. Next, we're switching to how we call Anthropic models, moving from the direct first-party Anthropic API to Google Vertex. This will increase our uptime, providing more regions and instances that we can fall back between when there are issues with those. And then finally, the team is continuing to work on technical debt across Duo to improve system reliability and efficiency. Next, let's move to Cloud Connector, which is also joining the AI-powered stage. Cloud Connector is a way to access services common to multiple GitLab deployments, instances, and cells. They are standardizing unit primitive configurations by consolidating unit primitive configurations into a single source of truth within the GitLab Cloud Connector Ruby gem. This improves separations of concerns, simplifying domain modeling, and simplifies JWT token issuance across GitLab services. This update enhances maintainability and scalability as we expand to multiple supported services like the AI Gateway and Duo Workflow, while ensuring backwards compatibility like we've talked about before. Next, the team is working on improving backend authentication. They're replacing OIDC key discovery with pre-packaged public keys for backend deployments. This eliminates dependencies on external discovery services and improves reliability for users. This ensures consistent and robust authentication in various deployment scenarios. And then finally, let's talk about the MLOps or the model ops stage, which focuses on helping our customers build AI and ML into your applications. We are building a Python client for all of our MLOps features, including the model registry and model experiments. This will make it easier for any Python environment to interact with these features. So for data scientists who are running Python environments in their local environment, they'll be able to interface with GitLab. CI environments will be able to call these features, and also cloud development environments. This will all make it easier to interact with our MLOps features, and we'll be adding all future features to this Python client as well. Next, as we move towards the GA of model experiments, we're also adding support for GraphQL, expanding how you can interact and manage model experiments across the platform. And then finally, we're making UX improvements across the platform to make it easier to get implementation code. So when you're interacting with the model registry or model experiments, you'll see usage samples where you can copy and paste customized code snippets that are specific to your project, making it very easy to drag and drop that code into your files to get those features working very quickly. So that wraps up the data science section, and I'll hand it back to Justin to wrap up.
Thanks, Taylor. Lots of great improvements. I probably won't highlight much because we're almost out of time, but a couple things that stood out to me personally. One, to-do list improvements. I have 3,491 to-dos, and so I'm very excited that I'll finally be able to start to work through those to-dos. Also, advanced SaaS for PHP. I'm excited to finally have more confidence in my 20-year-old WordPress code, so thank you to the secure team for making some improvements there. And then I had no idea we were doing the Duo Chat injected context. It's really cool. I love the demo. So thanks for that, Taylor. And then terminal output. I think everything we've done with Duo over the past 2 years has improved the life and longevity of the C and V key on my keyboard. So thank you all for the great work. And awesome improvements across the board. Excited to see all of this work continue throughout the milestone. And have a great rest of your week and happy holidays.